We are all familiar with the division of Germany into the 4 occupation zones after the Second World War. However, this was by no means set in stone and various alternatives were discussed over a long period of time. One of these alternative proposals came from the then U.S. Secretary of State Henry Morgenthau and is therefore known as the Morgenthau Plan. According to this plan, the division of Germany would have looked like this. The aim was to destroy Germany's industrial strength forever and turn it into an agrarian state. But what far-reaching consequences would this plan have had, why was it ultimately rejected, and how did the Nazis exploit it for their propaganda? We look at all these questions in today's video. The division of Germany was decided relatively early on by the Allies. As early as the year 1943 at the Tehran Conference, the USA, the Soviet Union and Great Britain decided that the German Eastern territories should be separated and the rest of Germany should fall under occupation. However, there were major differences of opinion about the exact occupation of Germany. There were mild proposals such as that of the U.S. War Department, according to which the occupation should only last until the most important war criminals had been punished. And many politicians wanted to refrain from an occupation altogether. Others, however, spoke of a permanent weakening and division of the country. And the Morgenthau Plan also fell into this category. Morgenthau was considered a hardliner and he saw the other proposals as too soft, and it bothered him that they only contained political and no economic consequences. In fact, according to the other plans, the German economy was to be rebuilt as quickly as possible. In comparison to the Versailles Treaty, these plans spoke of reparations through products and not through fines. In addition, rapid democratization was to be achieved through economic advancement. But Morgenthau saw things differently. He believed that lasting peace in Europe after the 2 world wars could only be guaranteed by a weak Germany. And so, in September of the year 1944, he submitted the following plan to the Allied High Command. Territorially, East Prussia was to be divided between the Soviet Union and Poland, and southern Silesia was to be ceded to Poland. Nevertheless, Germany would have retained considerably more territory in the east compared to the actual division. However, the Saarland and some other areas on the left bank of the Rhine would have been handed over completely to France. Otherwise, Germany would have been divided into the independent states of North Germany and South Germany. Southern Germany consisting of Bavaria, Baden and Württemberg. Northern Germany consisting of the remnants of Prussia, Hamburg and the Central German states. And the rest, i.e. Schleswig-Holstein and the Kiel Canal, Bremen, Lower Saxony, the Lower Rhine and the important Ruhr area up to and including Frankfurt, were to form an internationally occupied zone. All usable industrial plants throughout Germany were to be dismantled and removed and the rest destroyed. The military governments were to take control of the remaining economy for 20 years and deliberately obstruct it in order to turn the country permanently into an agrarian state. However, the plan was immediately heavily criticized from various sides. The foreign ministers of Great Britain and the USA in particular protested strongly against it. And the American Secretary of War called it a crime against civilization. He continued, the German people would thus be condemned to slavery, and they could not improve their position in the world economy even by the utmost diligence. Roosevelt and Churchill also immediately pressed for the plan to be toned down, although Roosevelt did not seem entirely averse to it. It was only when the plan was made public a short time later through a deliberate indiscretion that Roosevelt also felt compelled to publicly distance himself from it. And so it was off the table for good. Nevertheless, it remained in people's minds for a long time, as the Nazis knew how to exploit it skillfully. At the end of September of the year 1944, the NSDAP party newspaper ran the headline, "Roosevelt and Churchill agree with Jewish murder plan in Quebec." The plan had already been rejected and denied at the time, and there was never any agreement. Moreover, it was only one of many plans and was never discussed in its original form. Nevertheless, it was repeatedly misused by the Nazis over the next few months as a slogan for perseverance. In fact, everything turned out differently. Lucius D. Clay, the governor of the U.S. zone, was convinced that he was taking a realistic approach to occupation policy. Germany was to be rebuilt as quickly as possible, as an economically strengthened Germany was important in the showdown with the Soviet Union. And another plan, the Marshall Plan, paved the way for the German economic miracle. But to this day, the question of a hard or soft peace continues to generate debate. And there is always a debate about how to deal with a defeated opponent. What is your opinion on this? Let us know in the comments.